Hey team, it's me, Katie, and I wanted to do a very quick training this week on Shakeology. I mean, what is so great about this product anyway? I know I get this question a lot with new coaches. They're not really sure how to talk about it or what the benefits are. So I'm hoping this training will kind of hit on some of the main areas that will help you as you move forward, whether you're a brand new coach or you're a coach that's been around for a while and has been struggling to talk about the values of Shakeology. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about what Shakeology is. I want to talk about the benefits, if it's worth the cost, why every coach should be drinking it, how Shakeology differs from the competitors that are out there, and also just some quick tips on the best ways to share Shakeology with others. So when I say what is Shakeology, this is an action item that I want you to go ahead and do right away. And take some time, sit down and write exactly what you would say if somebody emailed you and said, hey, what is Shakeology? What would you say? You know, it's so easy for us to just give the canned answer. Oh, it's a superfood, nutrient dense product. Well, what does that mean? That doesn't mean a lot to people that don't know what that means. You know, what is a superfood? Because I know in the beginning, I had no clue. So when somebody would say that to me, it was like they were speaking some alien language. I didn't get it. So the first thing I want you to do is to write down in your own verbiage what Shakeology is for you. Why is this important to do? Well, it's really great to have in the notes section of your phone or save on your computer this answer, because when somebody emails you, because let's be real here, people are going to ask you this question a lot as a new coach when they're learning that you're drinking it, when they're seeing you posting about it. You want to have an answer that's really great that you can share with them. And that's personal. It's personal to you. You know, I get turned off by just basic canned answers. The same thing, somebody copying and pasting a very wordy, scientific sounding kind of breakdown. That means nothing to me as a consumer. But what does mean something to me is when somebody shares what it's doing for them. Because if I have enough interest in a product and I'm asking somebody that I trust their opinion and I want to know how it is helping them personally, not how everybody in the world thinks, but how it is helping that one person that I know personally. So when you write it down, it's going to give you that ability to share a little bit of what it's doing for you. So this is the answer that I would share. If you would email me and you would ask me what Shakeology is, for me, Shakeology has been the biggest game changer for my health. It is the easiest way for me to make sure my body is getting the nutrients it needs to function properly. And since drinking it, my cravings have subsided greatly. My hair and nails have grown incredibly fast, and my digestive issues have been eliminated. And I love, love, love drinking something that tastes like my favorite candy, but is the equivalent of eating 7 salads. That is what I share with them. People that know me know I have a huge sweet tooth. They know that I really, obviously, if you followed me on Facebook, I love hair. I love the fact that my hair grows fast and my nails grow fast because I'm really into makeup and cosmetics. I love those kind of things. And I love the convenience of it. I love that it has helped me feel like I'm eating all of these salads when really I'm eating my favorite candy bar. For people that know me, they know that that makes sense. They know that I wouldn't just be saying that if it wasn't the truth. And just the bigger things, you know, for me, I had so many digestive issues before I started drinking Shakeology, and I didn't even know what it was. I had been tested for things like if I had a gluten intolerance or had issues when it comes to any kind of dairy product, things that were never really set in stone as to what was causing my digestive issues. But since drinking Shakeology, I haven't had those. So it's been a great help for me and my body and feeling really awesome. So take a minute and write down those things for you that's it's going to be a really great personal touch when it comes to answering that question. Make it personal. Don't just copy other people's things. And you may have similar reasons that I do. You might have lost those cravings. You know, your appetite's been suppressed when it comes to when you're drinking it or whatnot. But just put in a lingo that's you and make it your own, as you should be doing with everything in this business. Now, one thing that I really like that I read a long time ago when I was looking into this was something that Darian Olian, who was the creator of Shakeology, one of the creators, what he said was that Shakeology is something that the sum is greater than its parts. And I really think that's an amazing way to look at Shakeology, because you see all these nutrient groups that are here up on the screen, all the proteins and the phytonutrients and adaptogens and digestive enzymes, and you're looking at those and you're probably wondering what they are, and they're all amazing by themselves. When they're together, they're really doing a lot for you. One of the biggest misconceptions about Shakeology is that it's just a protein shake, because there are so many shakes out there that are just shakes. Nothing crazy about them. They're just They just have protein and that's all they have to offer. And Shakeology is not something that's going to fall in that category. Protein is not enough to keep you healthy. Your healthy requires all of these things right here on the screen to get yourself, to get you going, to get you feeling good, and to making sure everything's working as it should. Shakeology, it's derived from all of these amazing superfoods, whole food sources. So they really are delivering these to you in the purest of ways that are really doing so many great things for your body. And when you're looking at these nutrient groups, you're probably wondering, like, what does this even mean? What are some of these things? Well, let's just talk about them really quick so you can get comfortable. One thing that I did, and I have a YouTube video up if you haven't seen it, me doing a dramatic reading in a ridiculous way of some of the ingredient names. Check it out. But one thing that I did when I was getting ready to create that video was I took some time to just look at the back of the package of Shakeology that I had in my house, because I didn't realize what all was in it. I didn't realize all of these ingredients. I didn't even know how to say a lot of them. I didn't know what they were doing for my body. So if you aren't sure what any of these things are, one thing that I would definitely recommend you doing is just taking some time and learning and maybe talking about a different ingredient, here and there, or just getting comfortable for your own knowledge is going to help you out. Trust me. So proteins and amino acids, what these do, they're going to build and repair muscles. So they're doing things like reducing hunger, food cravings, they're supporting your brain function, improving the mood. And that's where that healthy skin, hair, and nail thing comes from. So it's really important that you have those in your body. So of course, protein is extremely important. So it's great that it's in here, as it should be in any kind of shake that anyone's drinking. Now, antioxidants, these are going to neutralize free radicals that are produced by the cells. Free radicals, crazy things, but they help play roles in various processes in your body, for example, blood pressure. So it's really important that you're getting things that are going to help with those kind of processes. So many times I have customers say to me that them drinking Shakeology has helped lower their blood pressure. It's a very common thing that I get with my customers, actually. So that's where it's coming from, that little nutrient group right there. When you look into phytonutrients, those are there to promote a healthy immune system, things like healthy aging and detoxing your body. Adaptogens always sound funny when you say that, but they help your body cope with stress. And every single person out there needs some help with that. Trust me, we all do. Prebiotics and probiotics, they're fueling the growth of good bacteria in your system. They're balancing everything going on in your digestive tract. So you're having proper digestive health, which is a good thing, which people don't like to talk about, but it's something that so many people have stomach issues and things like I was mentioning before. And that means that their digestive areas in their body, that their digestive systems are not in good health. And this whole thing set up right here, this prebiotic and probiotic blend that you've got in the shake is definitely going to help with that. So that is why I think I love it so much, because it's helping with those things. Digestive enzymes going along, piggybacking off of prebiotics and probiotics. That's going to help make nutrients easier to absorb. Of course, the vitamins and minerals, we all know we need to have those, to feel good, to improve in imbalances in our body, whether it be vitamin D, C deficiencies, whatever you've got. We've got so many vitamins and minerals in Shakeology that is going to help with all of those issues. So is it worth the cost? This is another question that you're going to get as a coach. I gave this objection too. So it's not uncommon for people to have this and wonder if Shakeology is worth the $4.30 some cent cost per day that it's marketed at. And I want to just kind of go back to something I said earlier that changes it up when you look at it. And that is, this is not just a protein shake. This is a complete nutrition shake that replaces a meal, that hooks you up with a lot of vitamins and minerals that your body needs. So what I want you to do, another action item, really quick, is to just track your expenses for a couple weeks. And this is something that I did in the beginning too, because I was really quite clueless with how much money I was spending for my food. I would run to fast food restaurants constantly, and I would grab things here and there and, go to a vending machine at work. I never really paid attention to what I was spending per meal. So what I did when I was trying to justify the cost of this was I actually made a little spreadsheet and I looked at what I was spending. I went back into my bank statement. I looked at the receipts and charges at various fast food restaurants and all that good stuff. And I tried to tally everything up to see what I was spending without Shakeology. And then I went ahead after I started drinking Shakeology and I did the same thing. and I realized that I was spending way less drinking Shakeology than I was before. And I thought for sure it was not going to end up that way. I thought for sure I was going to say, yep, it's too expensive. I'm not going to drink it. So when you're looking at this and you're doing this little exercise, I do want you to ask yourself, how much do you think, um, or what do you think is a good cost for a healthy meal? Because when I go to a restaurant, even if it's something like a Wendy's drive-through and I'm trying to find a salad that's going to work, I'm still spending about $7, $8 a meal, not counting a drink or anything. So what do you think is a great cost for it? And you need to identify that for yourself, what you would spend per meal. Because when you start looking at Shakeology and you realize that you no longer need to purchase those vitamins and those additional kind of supplements, you're spending less than you normally would on food. Because if you're paying anywhere between, if you're a coach, you're paying a lot less for the Shakeology, but if you're a normal paying customer, you're about, like I said, $4 and 30 some change. You're spending way below what would be the average, I would imagine, for a healthy meal. So you need to look at it that way. But I encourage you to track it, and I encourage anybody who's thinking about starting during Shakeology to do the same thing. That way they can see, because numbers don't lie. And I've had a lot of my coaches do this exercise, and they're amazed when they see that they're actually spending less. But it is true. You are, and you're getting a much healthier replacement for what you could be eating with that $6, $7, $8 meal that you're spending on anyway. Why should a coach drink this? Well, this is a question that comes up a lot, because I'll have coaches or prospective coaches say to me, "Well, I don't want to drink that. I don't want to spend that each month. Back to the cost stuff, whatever." But I just don't want to drink it, and I always get concerned about that for a couple of reasons. Number one, drinking Shakeology. Shakeology is the top product that we sell as Beachbody coaches, and there's a reason for it, because of how amazing it is and what it does. All those things we already talked about for the body, but drinking it gives you firsthand knowledge. I really believe hardcore, along with the belief from Beachbody, that you should be a product of the product if you're a coach, and it's like talking about something that you know nothing about and lying about it to a customer, and I'm not okay with that. I would not want to buy something from somebody if they had no clue about it. When I walk into a makeup store and I'm asking questions about something that I'm looking for, and if somebody would just straight up lie without even knowing, and then sell me a product that ended up being something totally opposite, I'd be very angry about that. So your ability to answer questions about Shakeology and understand what it does for the body really is going to improve, because if you drink it, and I'm not just saying drink it once or twice. Shakeology is not the kind of item that you want to drink once or twice, or just a couple times a week or whatnot. You want to be drinking it consistently, because that's when it's doing the most for your body. People that buy it for a month and then stop drinking it always concern me, because it takes about 2 months or so for your body to get regulated, get on a good system with it. And I hate for people to not see the true benefit of it, because they just give up after a month. Good things take a little bit of time sometimes to get working and regulated. But without that firsthand knowledge, you might not be able to have it, and therefore it's going to affect that second thing down there, your credibility as coach, which kind of ties into what I already said. You don't want people to just think you're trying to straight up sell them something. What we do as coaches, we're shares people. I say that all the time. We are sharing things with them. Do we have a product that's attached to that? Absolutely. We're sharing a product that's working for us, that can help so many other people. But if you're just sitting there and you're talking to people and just straight up trying to sell them something that you know nothing about, then you're just as bad as a slimy, salesperson that's lying to you about a product, because you really don't know what you're talking about. You want to be credible in this business. That's how success happens, because people want to trust someone when they are dealing with something as sensitive as weight loss or body image or confidence. They want to be able to trust somebody, and how are they trusting if you can't even back up what you're trying to help them with? It also, of course, comes into your PV when you start looking at personal volume. Drinking Shakeology is the easiest way to get PV a month. If you're trying to remain an active coach for leads and for, various ranks, it's the easiest way to do it. And you want to have that personal volume there for your business. It also, if you don't like it for some reason, I've had coaches that have not been able to drink it for medical reasons. I've had one that was severely allergic. She was allergic to one of the ingredients in there and didn't know. She would still get it. And what she did was instead get the boxes instead of the bags. And she would use those samples to help with various things with her customers to learn more. to make them for various events, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. There are other ways that you can use it if you, for some reason, cannot drink it, but the majority of people out there can and should be if you're a coach. And if your business is not going where you want it to be, there's a good chance it's tied into the fact that you're not proof of the product and you're not seen as credible by your viewing audience. Let's talk for a minute about Shakeology versus the competition. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Shakeology is the only shake on the market. That is not what I'm going to say at all. There's a lot of great products out there, but all shakes are not created equal. And the one thing that I already mentioned, which is something that I want to bring up again, is that this is, again, a nutrition shake. It's not just a protein shake. And we're taking ingredients from whole food sources. There are so many shakes out there that claim to have all of these magical ingredients, all these cool things, but for some reason, they're not going to be as effective. And that's because they've been isolated from those enzymes, those phytonutrients. Shakeology's formula allows all these things to be blended together to really work together. There was another quote that I think Darian Olian had said that all the ingredients work together like a symphony that allows you to really maximize your results. And that's really true. Everything works together. Whereas so many other shakes out there, because of their blending powers, they're not going to do what they should because different aspects have been compromised because of their blending processes and how things work. You know, a lot of shakes out there, they're going to focus on individual ingredients and really hype those up. You know, a lot of times when I'm talking about Shakeology with people that are, or maybe using a different shake from a competitor or whatnot, they focus on, well, my shake has more protein than what yours has. And that's it. And I'll say, well, what else does it have in it? And they can't ever tell me because they're only focused on that protein because it's all that they know. And if you pay attention to some of these things when it comes to the competition, you're gonna see that different ingredients are really hyped up and everything else is kind of thrown to the wayside, which Shakeology that's not the case. We are really proud of all of the superfood ingredients that we've got going on there, and we want to talk about all of them. But there is something else when it comes to shakes that I always try to encourage people to look at when they're talking about what is into their shakes. And this, a lot of people that are my muscle heads, I'll call them, if we're going to stereotype it, my real protein focused gym people, which there's nothing wrong with because I'm one of those too. I didn't know the difference between some whey proteins. Whey protein isolate and whey protein concentrate are two totally different things. And that's what I encourage you to tell your people when they're trying to bring up competitor shakes or they want to go somewhere because it's cheaper or whatnot, to look into that so that way then they can talk about what it's doing for their body. Whey protein isolate, it's used in Shakeology. It's a more pure form, and it's going to contain between 87% and about 95-96% protein, almost no fat or lactose in those shakes. Whereas a whey protein concentrate is only going to give you about 34% to 80% protein. So when you're looking at that protein number, again, you need to focus on what kind of protein it's coming from in the ingredient list, because even though you might think you have more grams of protein, it could be coming from a source that's not doing as much for you. And then many of those shakes are going to additionally add artificial chemicals and sweeteners. You want to look for things like sucralose or aspartame, any kind of sugar alcohols in there. The only sugar that's going to be in Shakeology comes from stevia, which is an all natural source. It's been tested and certified by the labs as having a low glycemic index, just for anyone that's going to say, oh, that's too much sugar. The low glycemic index, it's certified between 14 and 29. It really depends on the flavor of Shakeology, because we've got obviously a couple different flavors, and there are some that have a few different ingredients. But if you want to compare that to a piece of fruit, for example, a banana is registered as 62 when it comes to the glycemic index. An apple is at 39. So Shakeology, because of the stevia on that, is way lower than that. There's no hidden cost with Shakeology. What you get is in the bag. You just add water. If you want to add other things to it, you can knock yourself out, but you don't have to. When it comes to the competition, a lot of times you have to purchase additional supplements, additional minerals or vitamins to make sure that everything is what it needs to be. So when people are coming to me and they're asking me about, well, how is this compared to X, Y, and Z shake? I always try to ask those questions right away. It's not that, like I said, any one shake is better than anything else. It really comes down to what a person is looking for. And a lot of times they don't understand what the ingredients are and what they're going to do for them. And that's where it's your job as a coach to explain it. It's not being salesy and doing so, it's giving proper information. And I would wish a long time ago, when Shakeology was first introduced to me several years back, I did not even consider coaching. I did not even consider buying it. It was presented to me in a really lackluster way that didn't let me see what it was going to do for my body. And that's one thing when I think back into my coaching career and the steps leading up to it. I always think about that first person that tried to reach out to me years ago about it, because had they presented differently, I might be in a much different, setup with this company. I might have started a lot earlier, and I don't regret how I started, but I am thankful that I started the way that I did, so that I can get the information to be able to properly share with my customers. So when they know that it's more than just a shake, because I don't want them to think of Shakeology the same as they think of a shake they can buy at Walmart in a 4-pack for $4, because it's not the same thing. So how to share Shakeology with others. Now there's a lot of ways as coaches that you can share Shakeology. And I just wanted to share just a couple basic ones that I do, that a lot of coaches do, that can hopefully help you with your business. Number one, of course, we all know social media. Social media is where it's at, regardless of Facebook, a blog, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, Snapchat. Use the social media forum that you love most, and uh, use that to share what you do with Shakeology, however you're doing it. It could be recipes, it could be you drinking it. We just want to avoid things like sharing that picture of the Shakeology bag, because that gets really played out and is really tired. But you want to add your personality and flair to however you're talking about Shakeology. Wear and share. Wear and share is my favorite thing, because I love to throw on my Shakeology shirts that I have, or hats. Of course, you can get those from the Team Beachbody, the apparel line that we have. But it's also just carrying around your shaker cup. I carry my shaker cup with me, honestly, everywhere, because that shaker cup is like a triple threat for me. I use it for my shakes. I use it for my Energize, because I cannot live without that stuff in the mornings. And I use it to hold water. So when I have it, it opens an invitation for people to ask what it is. So we can go back to the beginning of this presentation and my little answer for it. But it also allows me to share what's in at that time and how versatile the product is. So I always have that cup with me. I'm sure you have a couple shaker cups around with you too. Instead of carrying around an old water bottle with, the Pittsburgh Steelers logo on it, even though I love you Steelers, I like to carry the Shakeology one more, because it's going to share more for my business. You can do things like shake and shares. I'm having an event coming up pretty soon that's a park and shake, where I'm leading a live workout at a local park, and going to be making some Shakeology treats and samples for people. You can have shake and shares where people come to your house. If maybe you're someone that has children and you have play dates, maybe you can offer to make some Shakeology popsicles or something like that to share with the group. But share with them in a way that's going to work with your personality and how you do things, the things that you enjoy. Host groups online, host informational groups. Every couple of months, I'll do just a Shakeology info group, where I'll share information about Shakeology. I'll allow them to be able to purchase samples from me, whether it be a 5-pack of different flavors. Sometimes I'll do 7 packs. Just really depends on what the group is at the time. Sometimes even 3 days. But if you host those groups, it allows people to join with no obligation, to learn more about something, and it gives you a great way to transition and inviting them to a challenge group that you've got coming up that might require the Shakeology. And of course, samples. Samples are important to have, and I have it written on samples as here on this slide, but I do want to just state you shouldn't call them samples when it comes to your customers or prospective customers. That's a big no-no that I learned in the beginning not to do, and instead call them single serving packets. That is in fact what they are, single serving of Shakeology. But samples, what do you associate with samples? The word free. I think of going to Sam's Club on a Saturday and getting samples of every single food item there, like a pig eating them all. And I do not want to devalue this product by giving away for free. Every now and then I may give one as a prize for something, but I want people to put a value on it and how great it is and see what it does for their body. So I will charge for a single serving of that and go from there. Now you can set your own pricing. Mine, I typically have a different range depending on how many. The more you buy, the more you save, and that includes a shipping cost if you're not local. But definitely have samples on hand, because if somebody is concerned about buying it, this is a great way to just share with them, a couple a couple samples, or you can direct them to your Team Beachbody site and they can purchase the sampler pack off of there if you do not have any samples on there. But always think of that sample pack too, because it just gives somebody a great way to try different flavors and get them hooked on a really great product. So what you do now? Well, you want to complete your action items that I shared already in the group. You want to think about what Shakeology is to you. You want to think about the different ways that you can share this with people. So you want to brainstorm various ways to post about Shakeology. I say that because I want you to sit down. I want you to write down all the ways that you can post about Shakeology. Yes, one could be posting a picture of the bag, but you don't want that to be up there. One could be sharing a really healthy recipe. One could be making Shakeology cake. One could be something it did for your body. Who knows? One could be asking people to go online and share one thing that you can do with Shakeology besides make a shake with it. Maybe give them a cool prize. Be creative, but write them all down. That way you have like a little setup of ideas. If you're one day having a day where you're not really thinking as creatively as you should, we all have those days, you got some already there ready for you. You can make sure that you're on HD. I cannot stress that enough, guys. You want to be on there. You want to have that PV, but you want to also, again, be a product of the product. Plan a way to share with others outside of social media. One big way that you can do this, guys, is make it for people. That comes into the last one there, perfect your top recipe. You know, when I first started drinking Shakeology, and I think I'm not alone when I say this, I hated it. The first like 3 shakes I made were straight up awful. I had no clue what I was doing. I had not figured out my liquid to shake ratio yet. I didn't realize that ice made it so much more amazing on like a milkshake, and I didn't realize all these cool recipes. So in the beginning, I had no clue what I was doing, and I actually thought like, what is this stuff everyone's talking about? But then I perfected my favorite recipe, my top recipe, which for me tastes just like a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I can make that thing and make anybody like Shakeology if I make it for you and you come to my house or I bring it to you. And that's what you want to be able to do. If somebody tells you that they tried the Shakeology that you gave them and you didn't like it, you need to go over there and you need to show them how to make it or send them a video of how you make it if they're not local, because that is probably the biggest reason why people don't stick with Shakeology. They don't like the way that it tastes. And there's a lot of protein shakes that are out there that their consistency is weird. Regardless of how you blend it or what you add to it, it's a hot mess. And Shakeology is not one of those products. But you do need to figure out based on your taste buds what you're going to like. And if you know what's going to work, you need to share that and help people and share the failures you had in the beginning with Shakeology, because we all had them. But plan a way to share those, you know, outside of social media, whether it be creating an event that people are coming over to your house and maybe you incorporate, you know, having shakes there, shake samples at the pool party, whatever you want to do, but find a way, be creative. Start your plan of attack now with how you're going to start implementing this. The more you talk about Shakeology, the more your credibility is going to build. The more you're going to feel comfortable talking about it too. You know, when I started as a coach, guys, I had no clue what to talk about with Shakeology. I liked the taste once I figured it out. And I didn't know right away how to talk about it because I hadn't seen the benefits yet, because I was such a new drinker to it. But there are ways to talk about it even if you're are brand new, whether it be the ingredients or sharing recipes or whatever you want to do that shows your personality. But the more you talk about it, the more you share about it, it's going to help you. So you want to get comfortable with it. You want to get that credibility going, because this is, again, one of the top selling products that we have. You've got to know how to talk about this so that you're not missing out on helping as many people as possible with this, guys. So I hope that helped you get a little bit, you know, more comfortable when it comes to Shakeology. Any questions, as always, let me know. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Bye.